Dear students and the viewers, I welcome you to the class 7 of convection. So in this class 7, we'll try to differentiate local heat transfer coefficient and the average heat transfer coefficient. The meaning of these two terms we'll try to differentiate. Fine, you can consider any flat plate. Let the breadth be the value of B and let the length be L. So let us take this as x-axis. So at a distance of x, consider one small elemental area of breadth B and the length dx. Okay, so dx into B will be the area of this small elemental structure. Fine. So now, if you have a heat transfer from this surface, from this front surface, say like in this manner, if we have a heat transfer, it passes through each and every number of such elemental areas and it reaches to this surface, to the opposite surface. Fine. So since heat is being transferred from this end to this end, so the rate of heat transfer here will be more and the rate of heat transfer here it will be less. Fine. You can imagine that you have placed this plate near the hot stove such that flames are nearer to this face, say A, B, C, D, to this face flames are near. So it's obvious that heat will be conducted from this face A, B, C, D to the face E, F, G, and here you can imagine like this, isn't it? So this is what the other face will be, E, F, G and H. So now here heat transfer, rate of heat transfer here will be more and here it will be less. That means by convection the rate of heat which will be transferred to the surrounding air from this phase will be less compared to the rate of heat transfer which will be transferred by means of convection from this area over here to the air. So it goes on reducing from this end to this end, from B to F, or I can say from C to G, or from A to C, likewise. Along with the length, rate of heat transfer will be reducing by means of convection. This is the logic. So the value of A and some temperature difference will be almost same, but it matters with H. That is what the parameter which is controlling this Q. So for a moment, for the small elemental area, if we have Qx, which is nothing but rate of heat transfer by means of convection, try to recall the Newton's law of cooling. Qx, can you? So this is the equation, right? It says that rate of heat transfer will be directly proportional to the surface area and the temperature difference between the surface and the surrounding. So now in this equation let us have the subscript called as x, which says at a distance of x I am considering q, so it is qx. So at that particular location let the h value be hx. So if it is at a distance of x plus dx, this will become x plus dx. At a distance of total length L, it will become HL likewise. I am considering it for one particular distance x. Okay, what about the elemental area? The breadth over here and the dx over here. Fine. So the B into dx will be the elemental area. Then we have surface temperature and surrounding temperature difference. This is the small particular area I am considering, only on the top surface A, B, F, C. Okay, A, B, F, C, that is what I am saying here. So now here, if I integrate this Qx from x equals 0 up to x is equal to L, total integral of Qx will be the total heat transfer Q. So for that, I can replace Qx with the equation Hx B dx Ts minus T infinity, same equation I have taken. Now if I want to integrate this, B is a constant, these are the constant, I have to integrate this with respect to x. Fine, call it as equation number 1. So write the same equation, that is Newton's law of cooling, for entire surface A, B, F, C. You will get this equation, equation number 2. Since LHS are equal, I can equate RHS directly. So here, if I equate RHS, these two factors, what happens over here? H into A into Ts minus T infinity should be equal to Hx into B, integration of Hx into B into Ts minus T infinity whole thing into dx, right? So take this A to the denominator. Fine, and you can also cancel Ts minus T infinity on both the sides. Here also you have Ts minus T infinity, here also you have Ts minus T infinity. That can be cancelled. If that is cancelled, and if I substitute A is B into L, again this B will be cancelled, so that can be again written as 1 by L into integration of Hx into dx. Likewise, I can rewrite the equation again. This is the difference between local heat transfer and average heat transfer coefficient. I repeat, I sum up entire thing in a single statement like this. Local heat transfer coefficient is that heat transfer coefficient at some particular value of x. So at a distance of x I have some value. Say at a distance of x plus 1 I have some other value, x plus 2 I have some other value, x minus 1 I have some other value. If I say average heat transfer coefficient, it is the average of all the local heat transfer coefficients on the surface. That is what it means. So now here we have the other concept called as no slip condition. Consider a flat plate and this is the velocity profile. If you go back to class number 2, you will get this profile, the development of this profile, details of the development of the profile. So here when the air is blown on the top surface, at the face of the plate, at the top face of the plate, you can imagine one layer of a fluid which remains stationary because of the viscous force. Fine. Since the layer is opposing the flow, it remains stationary, and that is responsible for the lowering the velocity of the above layer, which is again responsible for lowering the velocity by a bit of the above layer. Likewise it continues, right? So here the one layer which can be assumed to be stationary, that layer doesn't have any motion. So since there is no motion, it doesn't slip. There is no question of slipping. But here if you imagine, there is a layer of two different layers which will be in motion, so there a concept of slip may arise, but here there is no concept of slip. So this layer which is almost stationary, that layer can be referred to as no slip condition. Fine, these are the two different concepts, basic concepts you should be aware of while solving the numericals. Thank you.